Hey guys, welcome once again. Today we'll look at Pythagoras theorem, which is part of the third topic of your IGCSE mathematics syllabus. The Pythagoras theorem is a simple theorem which states that the longest side, this side, of a right angled triangle, it has to be a right angled triangle for you to use the Pythagoras theorem, right? The longest side of a right angled triangle is equal to the sum of square of the other two sides, these sides, right? So the longest side, you can see here, it's the hypotenuse, and you have opposite and you have adjacent. So I've seen that most people tend to forget the formula whenever writing an exam, an exercise, right? But today I'm going to explain a very simple way of always remembering the formula, right? So after this, you'll never forget the formula again. You always remember the formula. So whenever you see a right angled triangle, right? This is a right angled triangle. It's a right angled triangle. You should know that the longest side, this side, is equal to the sum of square of these two other sides. So it simply means that AC squared is equal to, this is AB, right? AB squared plus, and we have BC here, BC squared. So this is a simple way of remembering the Pythagoras theorem. So we'll look at the first example. It says find side AC, right? AC. We have to find this AC, right? So let's say you didn't know the formula or anything, right? As I told you, always remember that the longest side is the sum of square of these other two sides when you have a right angle triangle. So yeah, you don't have to memorize the formula, you just know that it's simple and straightforward. So our AC, we can write x. So we know that x is equal to 4 squared plus 3 squared, right? So we have x squared, 4 squared is 16, 3 squared is 9, right? So then we have x squared is equal to, this is 25, right? 16 out of 25. Then to find x, right, we square root both sides, right? Yeah, that's what you do. 25. So x is what? Is 5, right? It's basically that, simple and straightforward. You don't have to memorize the formula. Just note that this side, when you have a right angled triangle, this side is the sum of square of these other two sides. Basically that. We'll look at the second example. It says find side BC, right? BC. Now it's a bit different from the first example where I had to find the longest side, but then it's still the same formula, right? We said the longest side, we can put A here, B here, C. We said that the longest side is equal to the sum of square over the other two sides, right? This sum of square of the other two sides. Now I want to find one of the other sides, which is C, right? Let's say this one, C. We can put C here, right? So we have to move B from C because we want to find C. So it becomes A squared. B here is positive. When it goes the other side, so it becomes negative. So C squared is A squared, the longest side, minus B squared, the other side. So I hope you understood. Right, so C squared, let's say BC, we put C here. You can put any letter of your choice. C squared is equal to the longest side, 15 squared minus what? 12 squared. So c squared, 15 squared is 225 minus 144, right? So c squared is 81. Yeah. So the same procedure, we square root both sides to find BC. In this case is what? C here, our letter C. So square root. So C square root of this is what? 9. So I hope you guys understood. So BC is what? 9. So when you have the longest side, when you want to find the other two sides, what you do is the longest side minus the other side that is available, right? In this case here it was AB, which is what? 12. So it's always the square root of this side, the longest side, minus square root of the other side. It's basically that. So guys, we'll look at the last example. Anyways, just a reminder, Pythagoras theorem is a topic that comes on both core and extended. The only difference is that on the core paper, the questions are easy and straightforward, while on the extended paper, the questions are a bit complex and trickier because examiners add a bunch of words, right, just to confuse candidates. Anyways, let's look at this example and you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so the question says a 4-meter ladder is placed against a vertical wall. The base of the ladder is 1.5 meter from the base of the wall. Work out how far the ladder reaches up the wall. Okay, so this is our 4-meter ladder. This is our ladder, this is our wall, and this is the base, right? So it says work out how far the ladder reaches up the wall. So we're interested in this distance from here to the base. You see? So here we can see we have what? It's a right angle triangle, right? This is a right angle triangle. It's a right angle triangle. So guys, remember, as I said, BC. It's the longest side, the sum of what? The other two sides. So we want to find one of these sides. Let's say, right? So it becomes the longest side minus the other side that is available. So just remember that. You don't need to memorize the formula. Just remember the longest side is the sum of squares of what? The other two sides. So whenever you have any question under Pythagoras theorem, you know how to solve it. Okay, so let's solve this question. Okay, so we want to find that, so we can denote this as x, right? So it's x squared, right? The longest side squared minus the other side that is available, which is what? 1.5 in this case, right? It's 1.5. So it becomes x squared is equal to, this is 16, this is 2.25, right? So x squared, this gives us 13.75. Yeah, so guys, x becomes 3.70809. It continues, right? It's a recurring decimal. So your IGCSE mathematics syllabus requires you to give answers to 3 significant figures if the answers aren't exact. So in this case here, we have to give the answer to 3 significant figures. So it's 3.71. If some of you don't know the significant figure stuff to the nearest and decimal places, you can leave on the comment below. Comment, right? Significant figure, decimal places, nearest places, and all. So if the more you guys comment, the more I'm likely to make a video explaining all the 3 topics, right? The significant figures, to the nearest and decimal places. Thank you for watching my video. If you have any questions related to what we just discussed, please leave on the comments below. I'll be able to answer everyone. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the link. See you guys and keep on enjoying learning mathematics.